everyone. Welcome to Conversations with MM. This is Marivir. Hope everybody's doing well this Saturday morning. Here in New York, it's windy and kind of stormy and cloudy. So, sana okay lang kayo dyan. We have a very special guest today. She is a retired medical doctor and leader, a pioneering leader in Filipino communities in New York. I'm talking of no other than Dr. Connie Uy. She is a pediatric and nephrology specialist in New Jersey and has been serving as the board chairperson of the Philippine American Friendship Community for 10 years. So she has given a lot of service to the Filipino communities for 10 years, and she is known to be very transparent and an enabler of leaders. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Connie Uy. Hello, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning, Marivir. Thank you for inviting me. Mabuti. Malamig din dito sa amin.
sa neighboring New Jersey. Oh,
Correct.
malamig na. Right. Winter is upon us kahit ano pa lang, autumn. Well, you know, the weather swings. So, Doc, tell us about your commitment and the experience you had as a chairperson of PAFCOM. Ano po ba yung highlights ng ano nyo, ng leadership, pamamahala nyo sa PAFCOM?
Well, let me trace back how I started to be with PAFCOM.
Yeah.
The overall chair at that time, which it was 2014, asked me to join the organization, but I said when I looked at the Constitution and bylaws, there are so many flaws, and I suggested that there needs to be some rebumping and updating the Constitution and bylaws. So, with my mouth open and whatever, I was then assigned to be the Constitution and Bylaws Committee chair. So I took it for, as a challenge. And I told them there are so many loopholes, as I said, and I need to have a constitutional convention in its sense. That means involving the members to be part of the committee so that we can look at what needs to be changed, what needs to be added. And that was really a big thing for PAFCOM. I see there were impending conflicts between the members because of non-compliance of so many things. And there needs to be some kind of intervention to be done. Number one was the Constitution and bylaws. So what did I do? We did several meetings of these potential committee members, assigned them different parts of the then CBL, and we did our regular meetings asking them how they wanted change. And afterwards, the different groups had settled down. And as a big group, then we decided how we can incorporate what we have changed. So finally, September 2014 was the ratification of the new bylaws. And and with that, there were several things that were instituted. Number one, there is now a level of succession so that there will be a position for president-elect. In the past, only the election was held in October, only to get those elected officers to take over for the January the following year. So they don't have enough time to really plan what they want to do. Number two, we created the board. There was now the chair and the vice chair overseeing really the fiduciary responsibilities for the organization. And number three, we abolished the word overall chair and labeled that executive officer to be as the president of PAFCOM. What else did we do? We incorporated the disclosure to be signed by all board members, and a conflict of interest was incorporated into the CBL. So that was the start of the new PAFCOM, as we said. And eventually, everybody was in agreement to what we have recommended, and it has really remained the rules and bylaws of the organization.
Galing naman. Did you ask a lawyer to help you in the process of changing the laws, or was it because you were experienced enough?
No, we did not have a lawyer in that committee. And true
Uh-huh.
enough, as my experience having led so many different organizations before PAFCOM, I think I
Yeah.
had some kind of understanding how it's to be done. Um, so
Galing naman. So let's go back to the past. You're a practicing doctor at the time when you got in PAFCOM and made substantial changes, right, Doc?
I was never in private practice. I've always been in academia. So
Oh, in as a teacher then.
yes, I was both
Mhm.
an educator, practicing pediatric nephrologist, and administrator. I was the division head of the of my division, and then later on ascended to become a vice chair for clinical affairs of the department.
Okay, so that's where you got the administrative genius and experience, right, Doc?
And well, from the beginning, even before that assignment, I've been really in I've been having a lot of administrative or management experience. So I
That's
mean,
nice. It's like, do you believe like it's also acting like as if you're a CEO for PAFCOM
oh, I think more than
in a
a
way?
CEO, I could have been. I could label myself as a counselor when they have
Uh-huh.
other personal or organizational problems. I could be a
Okay.
financial advisor. So
Uh-huh.
it was a multitask.
Did you feel it was tough and did you think twice na sana hindi mo na lang to ginawa or not at all?
Uh, Not really, because I wanted to have some changes in organizations, and
Great.
I thought it was a challenge. And I think
Mm-hmm.
having really hardworking members of the board
Yeah.
and participants of the event, it was a little bit
Mm-hmm.
easier for me to delegate. I think as a leader, you know how to delegate, and also
Yeah.
you know how to do the work yourself.
Right, right. So as a leader, how did you grow and sustain the organization, Doc? What did you do
Are
to
we particularly
to make it
interested in
strong?
platform? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think the new CBL of PAFCOM guide us as to how we would like to see the organization will grow.
Mm-hmm.
I chose a lot of the possible officers and asked them if they want to be involved. And I looked
Mm-hmm.
at the different personalities. So I think I
Yeah.
can advise the president who will be doing the appointments. I would be
Mm-hmm.
able to say something about the persons and how they would be able to work for the organization. And I think that's a trick for all leaders is to see who your members are, what are their talents, and how do you tap them.
Like you have to know them, right? Know their weaknesses
Yes,
and strengths.
yeah, you can really sense that as you intermingle with them and see
Yeah.
what their plans are, and not just for organization, but also for their personal family
Mm-hmm.
plans or careers.
Right. So as a leader po, what is the more challenging part? Is it looking for funds or is it maintaining the cohesiveness of the group, the social aspect, and motivating
Uh,
people to work?
I think it's both. You have to
Mm,
have the cohesiveness and the motivation of the members, but you have to
yeah,
have a goal also on why you're doing the project. Without that, without your missions and goals, then you're floundering. What do we do? But if there is
yeah.
some straight goals for the year or for a 5 year plan, you'll be able to do that. But but
Mm,
yeah, a leader should be the one to help out in the planning also.
right. So in the course of your leadership for 10 years, ano po yung masasabi niyong legacy project niyo, Doc? I know PAFCOM has been really been active, dynamic, and visible in the Phil-Am community in New York and New Jersey. So, but for you, what is most important na bigay mo po?
Well, the governance of the organization is number one.
Uh-huh.
I think restructuring the organizational components
Yeah.
made the numbers look at how they will fit into the collage. And
Mm-hmm.
number two, the financial wellness of the organization. Before
Mm-hmm.
when I first came as the chairman of the board, I got
Yeah.
a letter that had been hand carried to me that was from the outgoing administration, telling
Mm-hmm.
us about IRS letter
Wow.
demanding
Uh-huh.
us to pay because of late payments or late filing of the tax return. So in essence, that was a big blow. As my
Yes.
first thing is to really work on how do we pay this IRS. So I said, I'm not going to pay this. This is not our fault. And with the
Uh-huh.
with the help of the accountant and with all
Okay.
our resources and documentations, I was able to really get our taxes abated.
Mm-hmm.
Benefits. And I think you will be surprised. There was a total of 25,000, almost $26,000 of being penalized.
Oh my God.
So, and we did not share out a single cent to
So
that.
you explain to IRS the circumstances?
Yes, that was like a big folder that I have to submit, and even our accountant said he has never seen such rebuttal that lengthily, with all
Para
my
kang lawyer, Doc.
documentation. Para na naging ako nag-lawyer. Tapos nga, when the financial wellness, they didn't have any accountant doing their file returns. And therefore, I said to the board, this needs to be number one priority. We need to hire an accountant to help us do our financial reporting. So from 2015,
Mm-hmm.
we got the service of Gary Camacho, and who has been our lawyer. So I am very proud to say that our tax files are all updated, and you can see it on our website from year 2017 up to 2023. That it's there published so that it's transparent to everybody. They can look at our numbers.
That's
Number
great
three,
kasi.
number two, okay. We also established the restricted fund of PAFCOM.
Mm-hmm.
The point of something, I said, but how much money do we have? No, nothing, Doctora or Tita. We still have to pay so many. I said, how could that be when you have been getting a lot of sponsorship and money?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at our expenses. How can we cut back on our expenses? And I said, definitely you need to have some reserve. And what did I recommend to the board?
Mm-hmm.
Every administration should set aside $5,000 for their reserve. And right now we have about $48,000 on
Wow.
unrestricted fund. That's going to be used as a loan, if you're not, or some partial payment of our project. But whenever you loan from that restricted fund, you have to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a
That's
guarantee
great.
money. Then what else did we do? We always have the annual retreat since I came, and with strategic planning, we're able to plan what we want to do for the next year, or for the next 3 years, or for the next 5 years.
Ang galing. So you're leading the visionary aspect and the financial aspect of the organization. Not many are this sustainable kind of group, lalo pa sa atin sa community, sa Filipino American community. It's really a lot of challenge on sustainability and transparency. So, Doc, would you be able to provide like leadership tips if asked? Would you
I'll be
be
not,
willing to speak?
sure, as
Yeah,
long as my schedule can permit me. I think my experience can probably give some way of mentorship to the budding leaders.
right.
And anytime they need help, I can be of assistance.
Yeah.
The other thing that
Awesome.
I'd like to say is that transparency is definitely documentation. Also, is number two in my list.
Mhm.
Always document whatever you
Yeah.
have to do, and tell it to everybody that's involved.
Kasi transparency is expressed by having all the documents, right? Like your financial records and the minutes of meetings, things like that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask, congratulate the PAFCOM for having won, for having been cited by the presidential government, by the Philippine government, the Banaag Award. So tell us the journey how you got into this, Doc.
That was in 2021 when there was the
Mm,
height of the COVID, and our
yeah.
ceremony was not until 2022. At any rate, how did we go there? That was
Mm,
our second attempt to apply
uh,
for the NAG award, and I think the first attempt was a little bit, not so complete. And then when I
mm,
requested Roxanne Cahigas to
yes.
help and help us do the application, she did a wonderful job and really made us so worth looking at. I think the judges can verify what we have done is showing in all our applications. And
Great.
then also Krian Pastor, who wrote our video narrative, and of
Mm,
course Ms. Liwanag, who was our videographer. So I think it's also a lot of help from the board members and other people.
mm,
I'm happy we were awarded that. And I think it's one of the feathers that we can really be proud of, that PAFCOM is able to show the Philippine government and and the Philippine American community here in the Northeast what we
mm.
do in PAFCOM.
Nice. So
I think I can
congratulations.
yeah, Maribel, let me say that having been
Yeah.
10 years in the position as board chair, it also allows me to see the progress of my initiatives. And
Mm-hmm.
therefore, I am helpful. And I'm very grateful that I was able to see what were my initiatives that have been into fruition and has already gotten a big response from our community.
Ang galing naman. So ano po yung mga programs ng PAFCOM that you say are truly making a difference sa community? What are your programs? I know you have a lot.
Well, the flagship of the PAFCOM is definitely the parade and the festival during the Philippine Friendship Day to
Yeah.
commemorate the Philippine Independence Day from America, of course, the July
Mm-hmm.
4th, which is different from whatever we're doing for the June Independence celebration.
Mm-hmm.
So we continue that. What are the other things that we have done? We continue the health fairs that they have instituted, the
Mm-hmm.
wellness program, which are the Zumba and some of the yoga that is
Mm-hmm.
being chaired by Helen Castillo. We
Mm-hmm.
have also the taste of the Philippines through Soup Kitchen. That's also geared to highlight the Filipino cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
They do the distribution of food to the homeless and uh, the poor in
Mm-hmm.
one of the sections in Jersey City. During the COVID pandemic, we were able to do the COVID testing and securing some kind of help to our healthcare professionals by
Mm-hmm.
sending them food and healthcare packages. We went to Jersey City and Jersey City Medical Center and Christ Hospital. As a matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, Jersey City now has our name in one of their walls in appreciation of what
Wow.
we have done during the pandemic. So this was in
Nice.
collaboration with some Filipino um, business catering services. So those were some of the highlights. What else? We coordinated with the Philippine Consulate in sponsoring, networking with them, the Filipino Heritage, uh, um, Philippine Heritage Night, sponsoring the
Uh-huh.
Devils in New Jersey. Okay. I was invited by through the through the efforts of Conjen Cristobal to be one of the speakers representing PAFCOM as to how we did our program during the pandemic. So
Oh,
this was in
nice.
collaboration with the Bullet Tourism Month in the Philippines. So it was like a
Mm-hmm.
webinar that was
Okay.
in December. What else? Oh, number the one that really makes me proud is the scholarship programs.
Uh-huh.
This is now we already have three sets of scholars. The very first one, there were only five. The second
Mm-hmm.
year, we had eight. And then the 2024, we had nine Filipino American scholars. These are high school graduates that are going to go to college, and we did give them the 1,500 for the very first slot. That's
Mm-hmm.
PAFCOM's fund, and then we have contributions or sponsorship from other donors, which is like $100,000 for each scholar.
Galing. Wow, that's plenty, Doc. That's plenty. I would like to segue on your being a teacher and a doctor. Could you just tell us briefly ano yung experience mo, challenges mo as a Filipino doctor and teacher here in the US? But you've been awarded 11 times with the Apple Awards, so it must be commendable again, remarkable.
Okay. That was really the rewarding part of my um, medical career. I've
Mm.
been really a teacher to the medical students when they rotate to pediatrics, and also when I do my electives to the fourth year students on pediatric nephrology topics. So it
Mhm.
was the most sought elective by a lot of the seniors, and I would give them like almost like 10 months a year, so
Mm.
that I'll have some students always by my side. In the mornings, they will have some didactic discussions of whatever I told them, tell them to read and study. And then I let them come to me when I see patients in the clinics and in the hospital. I'm also attending for general pediatrics in the floor. So I mean, medical students and residents, not just medical students, are always at my side, and
Mhm.
they're helpful. They stimulate you to and challenge you with a lot of their questions.
Mhm.
But the most rewarding, I think, was being selected by the New Jersey Medical School for being a master educator. And there's one master educator from each of the schools, and I
Uh-huh.
represented the New Jersey Medical School. That was the height of my the awards that I got.
Galing naman. You mean being a master educator, what does that entail? You have graduated a lot of students, or you have
So
put everybody on
I
the
don't know what
students
I
list?
don't know what their criteria is, but we did submit tons of requirements, and
Ah,
to become the dean who will recommend it, and you will be vetted among other faculty from the different schools of the UMDNJ.
so it's the
So
school who and nominates you, Doc? It's the school?
yes, the New Jersey Medical School against Robert Wood Johnson Medical School against the Osteopathic Medical School against College of Pharmacy, College of Nursing, and all those.
Oh, nice. That's so good. So
I think that
you're
was
like
the fellow.
11 years being awarded. It's like it has become your tradition. So para bang nasanay ka ba ng ganun, Doc, na always
Hindi
winning?
naman nila, at saka you cannot be uh, voted every year because they want also to give. So only after 3 years, then you stop,
Oh,
and then then they will, you can be nominated, but you will not be qualified to get the honor. So one of the one of my faculty
galing naman.
colleagues said, "I will now have a bosom of apples."
Oh my goodness. But then congratulations on that, Doc. That only means you're really good at your craft and you're dedicated to what you're doing. Now, I'd segue to this situation now. We have a new upcoming presidential leader nationally. So, how do you look at the sector, the health department of the U.S. with the new presidency? Is it
Uh,
going to be secure? Will people still have their protections as far as health programs and benefits are concerned? What are
I
your
think
insecurities?
It
if
depends
there
on
are?
who he will appoint as the health char. And I
Oh,
believe it's being, the person there would be Robert Kennedy Jr. that I have heard from the news.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and there are some things that I would like to comment about that because he himself did not believe in vaccinations, which is a very, very fundamental um, aspect of preventive medicine in terms of
Mm-hmm.
curtailing future infections and preventing a lot of complications.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I hope they don't cut down on the research money so we can continue on developing new things regarding new medications or new techniques or new lab tests, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
that the Medicaid patients or the less, um, how do you call this, the poor can be
Mm.
given the chance to still be the availability of the help when they need it. I was in a situation where it's in Newark, New Jersey, where we
Yeah.
have a lot of um, patients who don't have the capability to pay. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm in that, I'm in that situation where I see everybody, irrespective of how they pay, and we treat them the same as private
Yeah.
patients or as compared to this, well, less endowed patients. So I hope that there will be continuation of the health insurances for those kind of population. So
You
I'm
mean?
worried, uh, but let's just wait and see what we will do.
Mm-hmm.
We have to now respect what's the demand of the majority, and we'll see what
Yeah.
President-elect Trump can offer to our health insurances.
Right, right. Now, as a wrap
What?
up, Doc.
Oh,
Yeah.
we already.
Yes. Oh no. um, as a wrap up, Doc, tell us tell us your share with us, especially the younger set of leaders, on how do you sustain an organization? How do you make it really work for what it's meant to be, for its goals? How do you make it strong and relevant?
As the leader, you have
Yes.
to um, paddle them when you're in a boat, right? To the right direction. And how do you
Mm-hmm.
find the right direction? Look at your missions and visions of the organization. Try to always go back to your constitution and bylaws to see what really is dictated on how to follow your rules.
Mm-hmm.
If there is some disagreement, talk it out and let
Mm-hmm.
it be handled diplomatically by everybody. You
Mm-hmm.
become the mediator for some of your members, and try to always be an example, not just the leader, but you be the one doing it sometimes, and let them follow
Mm-hmm.
you. Guide them as much as you can, and tell them that you have to tell them if they did something wrong, just like as a parent, you tell your children, and then give some recommendations on how to improve themselves. But if they are doing great, commend them. I mean, those are really basic human nature abilities. Commend them, give
Yeah.
them appreciations, and announce to the world that they have done this work. Just don't say it was your work. It's always going to be a group effort if you're in organizations, but the leader should always try to tell them this is how you should be doing it, but in a nice way. And then if they did it good, tell them, as I said, commend and appreciate. If they did not do well, tell them we can do some solutions into the problems. Let's plan. Oh, this is what I always do. I have like
Yeah.
a morbidity conference always, like a morbidity in men's how did we do with that event. So every time that we have an event, we will always come up with a after event meeting so that we can say, oh, this is what we should have done. This is what we did very well. And that
Mm-hmm.
helps out.
Yes, like evaluation after an event, that really helps, right?
Mhm, mhm.
For everyone to improve. So tell us, Doc, about what are your personal and perspectives now that you are no longer the board chair? What's up for you? What's next?
Uh, well, I'm still involved in PAFCOM. I still go to their meetings and
Mm-hmm.
tell the current president and current chair what
Mm.
should be done in a way. But I'm working on a documentary book for PAFCOM's 35 years of existence.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was started last year when I was still the board chair. And we have a committee that's working on that. So hopefully we will be able to publish a cocktail table book,
Mm-hmm.
which will be uh, planned for 2026, early part of 2026. And that will be a good thing to recapitulate the history, what has been done by PAFCOM. So that's a big thing that I'm working on in terms of my involvement with PAFCOM. And of course, with the help of the committee, the ad hoc committee. I would like to also work on my memoir and
Mm-hmm.
trying to see if I can publish something um, with something that I could be able to hand down to my children and family,
Nice.
my friends,
Uh-huh.
and help potential leaders in how I had used my. I'm 80 years old now, so I
Oh,
used my 80.
gorgeous.
Mhm.
Wow. So yeah, my gosh, 80 years of amazing life, a lot of learning and sharing, right, Doc? So thank you very much uh, for your presence in our community. That's amazing. So I'd like
I'm
to thank you. Yes, Doc.
I'm honored and very well appreciative of you taking me as a speaker today.
Of course, it's been long. It should have been yesterday or a few months ago. Thank you for your time, Dr. Connie Uy, and the inspiration that you do for everyone in the Filipino American community here in the East Coast. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our episode for today. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. See you again in another episode, Dr. Connie. See you soon and
Okay,
take care.
bye bye.
Bye, everyone.